Hello? No, I can't hear. I can. Oh no, I can't hear you now.
Hello?
There we go. Can you hear me?
Yes,
There it
finally.
is. Awesome.
Here we are. The jaws of life. It's been 6 years. Goddamn, here's the whale. 6 years. I
Too
have
long.
to ask. I have to ask you, what took you so long?
Well, it wasn't planned, that's for sure. We weren't trying to take that long. I think with every time we go into the new process of making and writing a new album, we kind of sit down and talk about it, and then we start working on it. And that is just way too long for us. Obviously, there was a couple things in between that happened. The pandemic was a huge part of it that kind of halted us for almost 2 years. So, but yeah, we just got to a place where we were just trying to write and work on the album, and nothing else mattered until the world stopped. And then we had to like take a step back and try to like figure out what we wanted to do, with all of that, there's a lot of creativity going on during the pandemic. I know a lot of artists made albums, they put out new music. That was a very creative time for them. For us, it was like the opposite. We like just got stuck in our, we were trapped in our homes. We were just doing a bunch of like Zoom videos all the time, trying to work on stuff. And that just wasn't us. We thrive when we're all together. And because we couldn't be all together, it was just really tough, So, yeah, just a lot of stuff happened. Life happened. We all got married. We all like, there's just so much stuff that happened. And I think that was a good time to think about what we wanted to do, and now when we finally had a date, we finally had the songs, that kind of felt like we were starting over again. Like we're a brand new band starting over. Let's do all the things that we want to do this time around. And obviously it was unfortunate that we took so much time off, but it really helped us kind of miss all of this. And not saying that we didn't miss it before, but it made it just, you feel like you're a brand new band starting out and you're hungry and you want to take over the world, and you just want to do it. So like that really helped. That's kind of our mindset right now, that we get to start over. And because we've been a band for so long, it feels really, really special.
And after 6 years, we can kind of say you're a newcomer.
Exactly right, but it feels like that for us, so it's good. It's like restarting again. So,
but welcome back. We are happy that you are back. Yeah. And did it feel for you like kind of that you are kind of blocked in your creativity when you were at home in the pandemic and everything was closed down, like a little bit of a, I don't know how to say it, the creativity or the mind is in a jail, like I don't know, I'm just stopping everything. I can't be creative.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely tried, and a couple things did come, obviously looking back, we did a lot of things during that time that really helped the album. But man, during it, I mean, for us, we're so close together, and not being able to see each other, it was tough for sure. I'm sure for everyone, but we just weren't that band that like all of a sudden we're trapped and then we just started creating a bunch of things. We thrive when we're together, when we jam together, when we play together, and that just didn't happen for quite some time because of the pandemic and because of all that stuff. But the one thing that came out of it, the good thing was that feeling of being the feeling of uncertainty, like not knowing if live music was ever going to be a thing, and that really drove us to like create the songs that are on the record. And also just being so thankful now being able to play those songs live and going back on tour again. And that was like, honestly, like even in the studio, we were so like, we almost forgot what fans look like, so we printed out photos of them, of shows, and just we put them all over the walls in New Orleans, just to remind ourselves why we do what we do, because that's a long time to not be able to play in front of people, and that for us is the biggest payoff. That's the fun part for us.
Yeah, to be in contact with the persons, with the listeners, and with the fans, of course. Yeah, so you put yourself in kind of a life situation when you were in the studio. Like
exactly, yeah.
We've been watched by a lot of people. Yeah. Great. Talking about hard times, do you ever felt like quitting everything, like it's Pierce of the Whale's over because we can't do it this way, we can't make it this way, because Yeah, it's been
I mean,
6 years.
yeah, I mean, for us, it wasn't necessarily about we never thought about giving up or quitting at all. This
Okay.
that was never on the table. It was mainly how we come back and how big and strong and fat, like how big do we want to come and say, hey, we're back, you know. Yeah, that was all part of it. I think for us, I mean, me personally, I was terrified of live music. I didn't know what it was going to be like.
Yeah,
That was for me. I was pretty scared. I know the other guys will probably say like, oh, we didn't, you know, we knew it was going to come back, you know, but I was very like, I was nervous. I was definitely nervous because we are in the business of crowds, you know, that's where we thrive, you know,
and so
in our industry, the bigger the crowd, the, you know, that the more perceived you know, it's like, wow, they're doing great, you know? So it was kind of crazy. Yeah, like we had no idea what to expect, or at least I didn't. And yeah, man, now just playing the shows, we just were on tour for the last 3 months, seeing kids, seeing friends. It was really awesome. And I can't wait. Like now we're ready to go. We want to travel the world. We want to play all over the world. We're good to go.
Refreshed, newborn, and talking about expectation, what can the fans expect from the new record?
Like on the record or like from shows coming up?
From the record. We're talking about the record, actually.
Just the record. Yeah. So this is obviously every record we do is going to be different. We're going to try new things. Some good, some bad. Obviously, like we're, you know, it's one of those things that we can't make everyone happy. Our main thing was making ourselves happy. And yeah, this record is just a little bit the most how can I say this? We tried to peel back a lot of the layers of Pierce the Veil and try to be a little bit more accessible on this record. I think going into this album, we tried to make simple but powerful riffs, things that were easy to digest, which is not normally our style, or normally there's just a lot going on all the time, whether it's guitars and vocals and you know, that was kind of our style. So we tried to maybe just peel it back a little bit and make songs a little bit more simplified, in the sense of like for a first-time listener that would never heard us before can hear it and go, I understand what's going on. And that's honestly, like, to make a song that's a little more simple for us was actually harder. So it ended up being a fun process. And yeah, I mean, we always try new things, be bold with things. Like if you're not trying, you're not getting better. And I think that's what we tried to do on this album.
I'm talking about you as a producer and a bass player. Did you kind of, for yourself, did you pause the last 6 years? Were you working on other projects?
Yeah, I was trying to do a bunch of different things. Normally I try to stick to like mixing and stuff for other bands and local bands and helping them out. Growing up for me, that was the hardest part about the music scene, was like not finding the right people to make a finished product, you know? So growing up, it was really hard to, you know, I had a bunch of bands, but nowhere to go to studios because they were so expensive and so crazy. Like, you know, you had to be a big band to be in a big studio, you know, and now that's not the case. You know, you could make records in a bedroom. You know, we made the record in a house in New Orleans. So for me, that's a big part of it. I love helping out younger bands kind of understand that you don't need a bunch of stuff to make good music. You can just kind of do it on your laptop if you wanted to. And I've always loved doing that. I still do that, you know, to this day. I work here all the time, not only with our stuff, but just other band stuff. And yeah, it's been awesome. I love doing it. For me, it's never work. It's always just really fun. And I'm always like eager to learn, you know, because this industry is, if you think you've figured it out, that's when you're the furthest behind. You know, you always have to be learning and eager to learn. So
yeah, you have always open for everything. And like, I'm trying this and I'm trying that, and I'm combining this with that. And
totally, yeah. I mean, for us, yeah, the world has changed so drastically in the last 5 years. So you have to kind of be learning constantly, you know, like we were talking earlier, technology is just light years away from where it's been. So this is awesome.
Yeah, of course. So back to the record, The Jaws of Life. The title of the record is kind of bitter, and the lyrics are also bitter.
Yeah.
And especially emergency contact. It's about the world became a dangerous place, and like feeling like being in a long-lasting emergency. And I need to fight against this. Against what are you fighting in this record?
I think just that this whole record kind of was the reason why we called it Jaws of Life, was just how the world was kind of coming down on everyone and essentially sinking their teeth. And Vic said it really well in a quote. I'm going to quote him a couple months ago. He talked about how the jaws of life, meaning felt like the world is like sinking their teeth into you and you can't move, you're trapped. And it's that moment where you realize you can escape, you know, and you need a little help from friends, from whatever that may be. But that first feeling of like, I'm free, I'm out, I'm in the sun, I've escaped, all that feeling for us was a huge like metaphor for us. You know, it made us like feel good about what's to come, feel good about the future, feel good that, you know, even though there was some dark times during the album that we were trying to make this album, and a bunch of different, you know, things that worked out, things that didn't work out, we finally saw the light at the end of the tunnel, and we got through it, you know. And I think that album is kind of based on that. Like, you can get through pretty much anything with a little help from you know, whoever. And yeah, it's really special to us for sure.
Yeah, of course. It feels, when you're talking about that, like a little rebirth, like we made it, we're still alive, and we can breathe.
We can breathe again.
We can breathe again. We're this long-lasting panic attack is over.
Yeah.
And
it feels good.
And taking this, like, we're taking this as a second life change, and doing experiments in our music, and being more open to everything. This is what it feels like when you're talking about
ourselves. Yeah, totally. I mean, putting ourselves out there even more, you know, with this album, because obviously the longer it took, the more pressure builds, you know. So obviously we don't want to wait 6 years again to put out a new album. That would be the worst. So we're definitely always trying to work on new music and building and stuff. But right now we're just really thankful that the record's done, and we can't wait for everyone to hear it. I think, like you said, it's different, it's surprising, but we love it, and I hope the fans will too.
We need to talk about one special song on the record. For me, it's kind of a one special song.
Sure.
Past the Nirvana, because all of the songs are about, as I told you, about storytelling, and the focus is really in a deep thing. But Past the Nirvana is grungy. It's old school. It reminds me to the new metal area, which I love. And this is like this Past the Nirvana, one of my favorites, goes through everything. And can you tell me more about the idea behind and working for this song?
Yeah, that one was one of the first. I think that was the first song we actually recorded. That was the first one we recorded that song. We worked on it a couple times, did some different pieces, but that one was the first one where we were done. That one was the first song that was finished on the record. We heard it. We're like, this is going to be wild. Like, we knew immediately that was the first one we wanted to show people, because that was, like we said, coming out swinging. Like, we wanted to just kind of shock the world and shock the people that listen to it, you know. And because it was so different, but it felt right, especially during the time, like post-pandemic. The song is about those things that a lot of people, that we took for granted as kids, going to prom, going to you know, just all graduation, like all these things that kids remembered growing up. You know, I remember all those things very vividly. Having to be canceled, having to have Zoom meetings and all these things, you know, being trapped inside your homes. And it was kind of the release. That was the starting point. That was the like first part of the movement of like, hey, we're free. It felt really cool. And like, obviously it's so different and so aggressive. And for every song on the album, we always try to do what's best for the song. So like, not every song needs screaming, and not every song needs singing, you know. And in this case, it's almost all screaming the whole time, and it worked out perfectly for that song. So that was a lot of fun to make. And going back to what I said earlier, it's a very simple song. There's not a lot going on in the song, but we wanted it to be powerful, and we knew it was going to be a fun one to play live. I think that was the biggest thing for us. Like, right when we hit the intro part, we knew we wanted everyone to be like jumping and stuff. So we had a vision of it, and it was really cool seeing it live, and it made us all smile for sure.
When we're talking about songs that are helping us, which is your all kind of favorite song that's helping you having a good time, helping you being in a good mood or something like that?
Like, what's my song? What's my random song? Or on the record, what song?
Both. You can tell me both.
Both.
Whatever you want.
What song do I put on? Man, what's a song that I would put on if I wanted to have a good time? I do like Fleetwood Mac a lot.
I had in my mind like it's coming something like Christina Aguilera, Britney Spears, something like that.
Sure, I mean, those are also
Backstreet
Those are
Boys.
also great. Those are I'm not throwing those off the table, but recently, yeah,
You come
I was
back.
actually playing yeah, a Fleetwood Mac like I think Dreams for me has always been just every time I hear.
Is there a story behind? I need to know.
No, it's just I don't know, something about
No.
it. I think I know, I don't know, something about that song. Just every time I hear that song and just the drums and stuff, it just
Yeah.
gets me in a really happy mood.
Yeah.
But so does every song. I could Britney Spears easily, Chris. I mean, those top notch, all good,
Yeah, yeah.
all
90s
good.
pop, 90s pop.
90s pop. You can't go wrong with 90s pop. Anything 90s is pretty wild.
And of course the new metal area.
And then
We
the
talk
new, I
about.
also, yeah, I had my new metal phase for sure. I wanted to be in a new metal band for
You
sure.
wanted to be in a new metal band. You
Oh
want to
yeah,
be
I was.
you want to be the next West Borland or something like that. Yeah.
Westmoreland.
With
Actually, that's a funny.
some masquerade on it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's a funny story. Westmoreland was actually the reason why I started playing guitar.
And I didn't know
That's
that.
fun fact.
just,
Fun fact.
just
I used to.
true fact. Okay.
Yeah, I used to watch Limp Bizkit all the time, and I just loved how he performed. I love how he made it a show.
Yeah.
I
He's
loved his
great.
just so awesome, and that really made me go, wow. There's playing music, and then there's performing and playing music,
Yeah.
and that
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
for me. It was so like, wow, I want to do that. So picked up guitar, learned that part, and it's been fun ever since. So and it's been really cool. Seeing them play live is awesome too.
Yeah, yeah. I already saw Limp Bizkit a few times, and I can wait to see you with Perth the Way Live, and you're having
Yeah.
some like masquerade on your face
Oh
or
man,
stuff like
yeah.
that, and some of those
I'll just stick
contact
to the.
on the lenses. Don't forget the lenses. It's all about the
I see.
performance. It's
That's the
all about the
thing.
lenses.
I can't do. I've tried to put in my eyes, but my eyes just hate them, so they get all red and watery, and I can't see. So I was just really. I think that's why maybe I never went into the new metal scene, because I couldn't wear contacts. I couldn't put them in. So that, I had to go into the punk rock. I had to go into punk rock.
What are you dreaming of, like in the producer scene or with your band?
I think for us, we just want to do, because it does feel so special to feel like we're starting over, feel like we're a brand new band being rediscovered for the first time. That's really special for us. Like, as we've been in a band for almost like 15 years almost. Like it's just been a long time. Almost 20 actually. It's been crazy. Having that chance to start over and being able to play bigger, better, crazier shows, I think that's on the bucket list for us. We want to play in venues that we only dreamed of as kids. Coming back to the UK, to Europe, playing venues like Alexandria Palace, like that. Like for us, it's such a momentous like occasion for us, because we still remember playing the shows for 200 people, and we love those shows, and it feels like really special that kids want to come out and see your band play all over the world. And for us, it's always been a treat. We're never not thankful for that. And I think right now it means a lot more to us, because and this is me only, I don't know what the other guys thought about it, but I felt like we weren't going to be able to play these types of shows again. So I'm just really thankful. I wake up every morning and go like, yes, this is still happening. This is awesome. We're back. And, I feel like we never left, but obviously we kind of did a little bit. So it's just awesome. I'm just super thankful and happy to play shows. And I want to be better. I want to get better every day. I think the band wants to get better every day, do things that we did in the past, but just elevate them, and this whole time too, not only did the band kind of feel reborn, us as friends, we feel more like a family than we've ever had. Like it was depressing being away from those guys for so long, like those guys are like family, so being able to be on a tour bus again, living with them, it feels cool, feels right.
Yeah, and it's always said like bad times are bringing you closer together. So
100%, and that's great. That's the great segue to the song, that song Shared Trauma on the record, that we that one is such a different, weird song, but it definitely feels like we all kind of shared some trauma together, and it makes us stronger because of that, and I think that's a good message from that.
The last sentences are belonging to you for the metal.de readers. So when you're gonna wanna say something to our readers, you have now the opportunity to shout it out.
Yeah, thank you so much for if you've been a fan for as long as you've been a fan for, or if you're just a brand new fan just hearing about us now. We thank you so much. We have a new album coming out, Jaws of Life, February 10th, worldwide, and hope to see you guys soon. Hopefully next year.